Good afternoon. Again, I am Mr. Fluellen. Uh, I teach in Atlanta, and I teach everything, like literally everything. And one of the things that I try to do is I try to integrate the different subjects that I teach with the different subjects that I teach. So this particular snippet, if that's what you want to call it, Picasso Script is about the opportunity to consider student interest in connecting it to the content that we teach. So a lot of times um, we're focused on just presenting information to the students, and it's like, hey, learn it, okay? But sometimes when you look at student interest, you have the opportunity to, really get buy-in from the student. And then there's always a presentation component. So we're going to look at some of that today. I will share my screen as soon as I remember. Says, oh, okay. As soon as I remember where this file is, give me 1 second. Okay. And I am working on a slightly older computer, so if it takes me a few extra seconds, don't mind me. All right. Let me share my screen. There we go. So hopefully everyone is having a great day. We're going to try to make it just as exciting. All right, so first up, all right, let me know if this shows up. I'm bringing up um, my agenda here. All right, can everybody see that? I hope so. Okay, thank you. All right, so just introduction again. I am who I am. I've explained that the activity, thinking, and scope. We're going to talk about student interest as we continue to go along through here. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to give you the opportunity to participate, and then hopefully we can get some participation where you don't mind sharing, do some presentations, and then we'll do a quick question and answer with a few post activity connections. So the first thing that I want everyone to do, I am going to go back. I'm dropping in the chat box a link to go to my Code HS classroom. Inside of the platform, they give students the opportunity to create using code. And what I did with Picasso Script was extend that opportunity into more activities that allow the students to be creative. So if you go into that link, should let you go into the classroom. I am going to hit refresh here to see how many people have joined. It looks like I have 4 students. That's great. Okay. Inside of the platform, let me switch screens here. 1 second. Share screen. And I do talk to myself while I'm typing stuff, so don't mind me. Mm-hmm. Tab is it? Because it's yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's just it helps me get through it. Okay. So I'm just gonna pick a person's name here just so I can show you this. All right, so inside of the JavaScript class is also in AP JavaScript. I have these sections with these graphics, okay? And it starts with some basic stuff, just placing some things, uh, equations maybe, or shapes, or something of the aspect. And they have different graphics challenges, but it's still built on the principles of basic JavaScript. And so I decided to expand this, and I'm just showing you what one activity looks like. Uh, so in this challenge, the goal was to, and I know my screen is probably loading slower than I'm talking, but that's okay. It'll eventually load. The idea here was to load and create the ghost from Pac-Man. Obviously, they can't call it Pac-Man, but uh, just basic variables with some locators and things like that to create um, that particular shape. And then there's like 5 or 6 other shapes. So when we did this activity, um, the students were like, "Oh, okay, well, that's great and all, and it's challenging trying to place things." But ultimately, what they wanted to do was create something. Oh, hold on one second. To join the classroom, yep, that's it. Under resources, click join section. There you go. All right. So to the kids wanted to kind of create something on their own. So what I did was expand the opportunity to do so. And I gave some very, very basic, simple instructions. Okay. And you'll get those same instructions momentarily. So it's a couple of things that I wanted to kind of point out, especially for all of the people um, new to Code HS. All right, so let me bring this out. All right. So an activity like this, as well as the particular units that the stuff is in, is going to cover things like variables, user input, arithmetic expressions, graphics. You can do things like pair programming, which is really cool. You can work on, collaborations. Um, you can do challenges. So maybe you're doing one challenge for accuracy, one challenge for speed and proficiency, and then maybe just another challenge to allow them to um, extend themselves. So let me show you something real quick here. Here we go. All right, share this screen. I'm still getting used to hop in, so bear with me, please. Um, can somebody check that for me? The resources, but there's no option to join the classroom. All right. Share. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. So my students was given basic instructions. They had to use whatever shapes, colors that they wanted to use, and they were required to do at least 3 shapes and at least 3 colors. Okay. So we have some generalized shapes, colors, commands, so on and so forth. And what this person created can be seen here. Now, I know that's a little small, so I'm going to try to blow that up just a little bit. Okay. Now, uh, everything was done correctly. They didn't really have any issues or problems doing so. But the difference between this and some of the other activities that we've done goes back to what I mentioned before, where I really had student buy-in. So they weren't just programming for the purpose of getting a green check, if you will. They weren't just programming for a grade. They were programming for something to actually take ownership of. So we branched off into, some of these new concepts like NFTs and digital artwork. We branched off into conversations about graphics for, say, computer programs, games, or something. Like, okay, yeah, this is all two dimensional and all, but imagine being able to expand on this, right? And this is what this particular student came up with. So, what I would like to do today is do some of the same. I'm going to give you a set of instructions, very, very basic, and I'm going to show you how to get to uh, the place to create and where to find your items. And what I would like to do is let you create some things based on your own creativity, and then just kind of discuss how that process could be utilized in your classroom, maybe for a targeted uh, art purpose, maybe for independent creativity, or even just to amplify some of the concepts that I mentioned that are part of an activity like this. So let me bring this up. Um, yes, please make sure you are visiting or using the page as a student if you already have a Code HS um, teacher's account. All right, where is it? Okay. All right, bring up this page. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping that that's showing up. Yes, it is. All right, cool. All right. So what you will do is go to your sandbox. Okay. Once you get to your sandbox, you will create a new program. You can call it whatever you want. Okay. That's what I decided to call it, whatever you want. You will then click Create Program. Okay. And then you want to go to JavaScript graphics. Okay. I'm going to repeat that again. You go to your sandbox. And you go to Create Program. Okay. Give it a name. All right. And then you want to go to JavaScript graphics. Okay. So once you click on JavaScript graphics, scroll down, click Create Program. Okay. And what you have in there is just a basic function. Uh, you have a shape, and then I think it blinks or cycles through uh, colors on that shape. Let me see. It might be running. There it is. Okay. So when we did this the first time, the only thing that the kids wanted to do was move the ball to a new location, which is fine. Uh, then we talked about, okay, well, how do we get it to be just one color instead of actually going through the colors, or what makes it what makes it go through all of the colors. So it's kind of like a debugging exercise, if you will. And then we talked about, all of the different commands associated with what we could do. So you will find, make sure I'm still on the right screen. Hold on 1 second. Do I have to? Yeah, I guess I have to reshare. Okay. I'm getting used to it. Stick with me. Stick with me. Okay, that's what I want. Stop sharing. Chrome tab. There we go. All right. Can everybody see that? I think so. Okay. All right. So again, you have this basic function that created the shape. Thank you. You have the function which selects the color. And then you have the set timer. Okay. Now, again, the kids just wanted to kind of play with the ball, which is cool. Sometimes, a little small gain is a piece of knowledge to help them, extend what they're trying to do. The amazing thing about it, though, is under Documents, you have additional shapes, additional graphics. Okay. You click on either one of those. So let's say a rectangle. Okay. It gives them sample code or example code of how to create other shapes. Okay. Now, there are some explanations to go along with that, obviously. And you can do this two ways. You can have students explore what they are, or you could have uh, targeted instruction moments where you have them do a specific thing. Okay. So, for example, what I would like you to do is to take, man, it would be nice if I could write on the screen. Hold on. Yep, I don't think I can do that, but that's okay. Take the rectangle example. Starts right here where it says var rectangle, or you can type it in and replace the circle with a rectangle. Then make sure you add the rectangle. I'm going to do this, but I want you to do the same thing. Okay. If you're ahead of me, go ahead. If not, then I'm going to actually do the same thing so you can see it. So I would start by doing something like taking the ball out, okay, or circle out, and then you can highlight and copy, even though I usually have students type it in. Okay. I'm going to remove this function. Okay. And then try to run that shape. Okay. Now, it does not work unless you actually add the shape to the screen. Okay. So you want to add the shape to the screen. You add the shape to the screen by using add rect. Okay. All right. And then the shape is there. Okay. So after doing that, we have a conversation. And again, you can do this in bits and pieces. You can write it out as a set of instructions. Whichever way works best for the kids. Again, the goal is to get them to create. So you may want to just kind of let them play with it, but then you can reach all of your students, regardless of level of understanding, by coaching them a bit to kind of fill in the gaps. So I would ask questions like, where is that rectangle located? especially for the ones that copied and pasted it in. Where is that rectangle located? What does 100 by 200 mean for setting a position? Um, what does 200 by 50 mean for the new rectangle? And so as we pull these little pieces of information out from the students, they have the opportunity to kind of get a feel for, oh, okay, well, all of this is coming from the top left of the screen. Now that I have this shape in here, what do I want to do with this shape? Do I want to make it larger, smaller, move it to the left or the right? And then they just kind of play around with it until they get a sense of where everything is and what everything can do. So, what I would do afterwards is say, all right, we have a rectangle. Let's make a table. Okay. So then we have to define, well, what's a table? And these are the same things that we do in, computer programming. We're trying to figure out, okay, we need an end result. What's required for that end result? Okay. So this works well with the pairing and the collaboration and the problem solving. Even though it's really basic, it still kind of gets them into that thinking. Like, we expect them to uh, program an app, but then not think about the structure of the app and the actual end goal. So it has lots of applications. All right, so if I wanted to make a table, maybe I can get some participation from the chat box. What would I need to do to make this look like? And again, it's two-dimensional, but what would I need to do to make this look like a table? Somebody in the chat box, just give me a little taste of something. Maybe what shape would I add or how would I change it? Yeah, absolutely. Now, your students are going to give you the same answer. I would challenge them to say or get more details. So, yes, physically draw legs. Then have them talk to the person. You can do this online or you can do this in person. Have the person who says draw legs talk to the person who said add lines, and then maybe talk again to another person. In church they say talk to the person on your left and the person on your right. Yeah. Uh, Talk to the person who said make rectangles, and then how, right? So the legs, of course, could be any shape, but in this case, since we want to use rectangles, all right, I now have to position my new rectangles because I'm going to add rectangles and I need two of them for legs, right? Since it's two-dimensional. Okay. Let's just assume that, and again, just for time's sake, okay, this will create another rectangle and this will create another rectangle. I need to change the shape and the location. Okay. Change the shape and the location for both legs. All right. And let's just change the color for the sake of identifying it. All right. What would I do? What would I type for shape? Obviously, it needs to be the same for both legs. And then what would I type for position? Just based on what you think. You can put something in the chat box. You can even put I don't know. That's perfectly fine. And then if you have this up on your screen and you're creating shapes, test it to see what you get. See if that works for you. If you come up with something that works, enter that. If that doesn't work, try something else. So again, the conversation that you have with the students that continues to be engaging is all about how far can you go? Now, ultimately, when they create their first picture and it's just like, okay, well, this is a hot mess, give them another opportunity, maybe a couple of days later, to expand that picture. Okay. Um, for your really fast people, give them another opportunity to expand their code. So we're doing a very basic thing now, but some of the kids really extend their code into other things, and it's like, oh, okay, I was not expecting that. Like they will literally expand your thinking into what is expected of them, and challenge you to expect more from them. All right, so someone said 5 and 75. Is is that for the position or the shape? Shape. Okay. All right. Let's try that. So we want to say 5, 75. We'll do the same for this one. 5, 75. And then what about the position? Bless you. So if I'm looking at the position, it should be based on the shape that's already there. Okay. And the position of the shape that's already there is 100 by 200. Okay. So 100 by 200 is the physical location, which means that my leg should be relative to the position of the original shape. All right. And again, kids are going to have these conversations, and it's good for them to think about, where is my art in this particular space? Okay. Kind of like navigating uh, script and text and other things. Where is my item in the space of this program? Right. So, tell me what you think. For a position, I put 100 by 275, and $300 by 275. Okay. All right. So let's hit run. Okay. Now, opportunity to do some debugging, and I do appreciate the participation there. It's always great to have somebody to talk to. So I have 100 by 275, and I have 300 by 275. Based on the location of the red legs, and that's a good size. Is that Miss McFall? That's a great size, 5 by 75. Okay. What do I need to change and why? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we got a hint there. I'll take some participants. It says the x coordinates are going to depend on if you want the legs exactly at the corners or offset, and the y coordinate will be at least from the bottom of the table. So if I could have somebody put in the chat box, what would I adjust and or why? We're trying to place the legs at the bottom of the blue rectangle to make it a table or two-dimensional version of a table. All right, so I got a 100 by 250 for the first leg. All right, let's see how that does. Cool. And then for the second leg, I just need to move the leg up in the same manner, right? So then that would be 300 by 250. Okay. You can see what we got there. All right. And it's off just a tad. Let's see. That's 3. That move it back. Yeah, there we go. All right, now we have a whole table. So, straight table, okay? And it will be okay to do this, but then you could have, say, for example, everybody creates a table. You then change the exercise up a bit and say, hey, Dana and Kelly and Sababu and GT Constellations. Uh, I want each one of you to create a different piece of furniture. Okay. Somebody to create a chair, somebody to create a smaller table, somebody to create a TV. Okay. And once you finish, we're going to get together and put this all into the same sandbox and then have a room of furniture. Okay. Now, with 4 people, obviously it's a small apartment. But with 20 kids, you can have them design a whole layout. Okay. You can then bring in other items like how do you make the best use of space? You're only given X by Y space, and then that's all you have. 1 second. Yes. Okay. Yeah, quadruple booked as always. Student asking the question. Okay. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where the activity goes. You can have the kids, of course, expand and get into more detail with the code. Okay. So what I would like to do, the time now is 2:40 on my end. Um, I would like to give you all, because we're about to do just that, I would like to give you all about 10 minutes to go to your sandbox, go to JavaScript, go to create something, and create a different piece of furniture. Okay. Whatever piece of furniture you would like. Okay. And then what you're going to do once you create that piece of furniture and it's just the size and color that you would like for it to be, you're going to copy and paste your code into the chat box as one block. And then I will upload that piece into our whatever you want room. Now, keep in mind that uh, my code, which will stay up on the screen, and the position of where it's located. So if you're going to add something, it's going to be relative to that particular piece. So you're going to have to think. And again, it says I got 8 people, so I'm looking for 8 participants, please. But create a piece of furniture. Uh, place your code in the chat box. And then once I have a few participants, And it doesn't have to be anything long. Okay. If you want to create a pillow shaped object and call it a pillow, we'll find somewhere for the pillow to go. Okay. Um, but once you place it in the chat box, I'll place it into my code and then upload it. And then we'll have time for some questions and conversation at the end. So the time now is 2:42. Let's go to 2:52. And remember that you can find the other shapes in the document section. Okay. So you got quite a bit of things. You can rotate some things. You can use text if you want to write something on your TV or maybe a mirror in the background with an oval. Whatever you want to create, be as creative as you can in 10 minutes. All right. I'm going to take a quick pause and peep at the children real quick. But just let me know I'm here to answer any question. 10 minutes. If you need any assistance, just let me know in the chat box. Or feel free to come off mute and ask a question. Don't forget to add that object when you get to the bottom of your block there. Always add that object based on the variable name so that it shows up. Oh no, I did it. Okay. I knew I was going to do that. Let's see. Uh-oh. Yeah. That was going to happen. All right, we got about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Again, thank you for participating. Let's move that up. All right. All right, I just added a mirror. Let somebody got a better looking one. Added a mirror to the top of our table. Check yourself before you walk out the door. All right. All right. Look at that. So we got something to add here. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes copy and paste comes in a little weird, but it's all right. Okay. And again, you can navigate this for your students, or you can let them just kind of work through it. Okay. Let's see if I missed anything. Cool, got another shape. Thank you, Dana. And I got Kelly. All right. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Okay. Let's see here before I place that in there. Let me hit run. Always showing off. That's cool though. Check that out. All right. Let me see what else I got here. And again, it's fun. It's exciting, and you're still presenting them with solid coding. Uh, and it's a fun activity. Now, the cool thing is, again, when you start purposefully creating activities for them to do. So, say for example, there's a on a homecoming or something like that, and then you want the kids to create a new logo for the school, or you know, there's a football game, and we're going to create the mascot. Uh, and then the whole thing is created in code. It'll just be something awesome. All right, let me see what that is. Check out the flag. Cool. That's awesome. That's really awesome. All right. I think I have one more. And then I'm going to show you a student picture, another student picture, and I'll take some questions. All right. These are really great, guys. This is really great. Okay. Just remember when you're copying from the chat box, it requires you to place some stuff. Okay. Enter. What screen? I don't know if that's right. Okay. Ha, put something right on top of the table. Or is that a lamp? Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. All right, so just like that, people, we have an entire room of furniture. We have our collaboration. We have, oh yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. Um, Please send me email address or any questions you have maybe later. Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, nice little fun activity. You get to do a whole lot of different things, and there are endless possibilities of what we can do with this. What I want to do here is I want to show you one piece of student work, and then I would take some questions. Okay, let me drop this in here. All right, I have that, and nope, not that one. Close document 4. There we go. All right, let me paste this in here. And if you have any questions prior to me, yeah, I definitely do that.
That way everybody can have
Have a
access
piece of
to
that stuff. Yeah.
it they created.
All right. Okay. So this is, I'm gonna try to capture as much of it as I can. When I first got it, I was just like, oh no, the child just put a yellow circle in there. But they actually ended up putting a rainbow and some trees and some other things. And, in my instructions, of course, I let them create whatever they wanted to. But the person was like, yeah, I just want to create how I feel today. And I'm like, that's how you feel? Because, teenagers don't show expressions at all. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. That sounds like a good day. But yeah, that's it. Great activity, great fun. Extend a lot of opportunities for them to engage and be excited about what they create. So, any questions, any ideas? What is your thinking? You can put them in the chat box or feel free to come off mute.
Yeah, to come off mute and just click on the share audio and video, that blue button above the video window. Um, I really enjoyed this activity, and there's many things upon about which I can speak. But one thing I wanted to say is I like that this activity gets the students thinking about how collaborative creating a program is. That is not just one person creating all 20 million lines of code for, let's say like Microsoft Word, software program, something like that. That you actually get to work with different people and get to work with different parts of the program, so forth and so on. So I really enjoyed that aspect. And then you just kind of getting to see with everybody putting there together how it actually looks. Um, but yeah, I was trying to see if, on Code HS, you can actually get access to a shareable link, which is what Mr. Fluellen is doing now. Um, and you can share like your results and activities and your projects and art pieces and things with the world.
There's your link.
All right, I'm capturing it now and trying to save it to this other document.
You could.
Okay, we do still have about 2 minutes left for the session. If you have any comments or questions, you can place them in the chat or click on the share audio and video, the blue audio and video button. The next thing will be a small break in which you can continue to participate in the networking as well as continue to, and explore the exposition. So you'll see the people icon and the expo icon over to the left. Then you can rejoin the stage at approximately 3:25 for another presentation, and then that will kind of culminate in a student panel from some former computer science students and some of their former teachers as well. But now they are in the CS industry, so they'll share some information. And then at the end of the day, around 4:20, we'll have our last prize giveaways and closing remarks that will also be on the stage. So definitely wanted to thank Mr. Fluellen. He is doing multiple duties today, as you see. He's
Always.
at work.
Always. I wouldn't have it any other way.
But he still found it so important that he was able to dedicate a little bit of time to sharing with you all.
Yep. Now, I am always quadruple booked for anything at any given time. So, I appreciate your patience and the opportunity to chat with you guys, and hopefully we can collaborate ourselves on some future projects. That was pretty awesome, man. I like we're going to have to repeat that during the fall. Again,
Yeah.
we're going to have to repeat that again.